know I got problems, and I don't know where to go.
Guys, one easy way for you to trade using technical analysis is chart patterns. Chart patterns are really fun because they repeat itself over and over again. There are a ton of chart patterns, but there's one in particular that I want you guys to learn. And I think is a very easy way to find setups. It will help you to enter with confidence. It will help you to exit with confidence. And so I want you guys to take notes of this as well. I'll try to make this as easy as possible. And I want you guys to drop in the comments right now if you have any questions about it, or even if you're familiar with this. And it's called double tops and double bottoms. I will show you how to do that, finding these patterns here over and over again using technical analysis. So let me go ahead and show you exactly what I'm talking about. All right, guys, so double tops and double bottoms. I'm going to go ahead and show you double tops first here. What you want to do when you're finding a double top is that you want to see when price retests a certain area twice. That's where the word double comes from. And what I mean by this here is that this here is our resistance zone. And we learned about support and resistance. This is our resistance zone. And I want you guys to get this here. Right here is our double tops. Here's our first one here. And then you'll see a gap. And here's our second one. Now, this gap is very significant right here. This is our neckline. And I know some of you guys are saying, well, I see multiple candles reaching this area. Here's one, here's two, come back up, 3, 4, 5, and that's completely fine. What I'm talking about is that you want to see a gap in between that before it retests this resistance zone. Okay, so here's our double top pattern. Now, instead of price coming up, we're making higher highs and higher lows, higher highs and then higher lows. We are failing to make a new higher high. And instead of price going to make a new higher high for an uptrend, it actually comes back to retest this resistance zone only to drop to the downside. And this is a very popular strategy here. Now, all of this is saying is that buyers couldn't keep that momentum up for the uptrend and sellers come to dominate. So this here is considered a key area, right? So you typically will see a nice gap in between your double tops here. This is your neckline here. So that is considered a double top here. All right. So this is a key resistance zone. So if price ever comes back to that area, you know there's a possibility that you can short again. So let me go ahead and show you exactly what I mean here. So we have price shoot up to the upside, is making a higher low. Now, if we're in an uptrend, we may think that it will continue to make higher highs. But if you see price break down to the downside, and if it breaks this neck right here, then there is a strong possibility that you may be headed into a downtrend. All right, so let me go ahead and show you a double bottom, and then I'm going to show you how I would enter it once I identify our double tops and our double bottoms. All right, guys, so this here will be considered a double bottom. I'm going to draw this out for you to make it easier for you to watch here. Now, it doesn't have to be specific price. It just needs to be a specific area here. So we can see that candles came and retested this triangle here at the top of this triangle. And then at the same time, it came back down and it passed through it here. All right, so this here is our double bottom. I'm going to circle it to make it easier. So we have one right here and two down here. All right, this is our support zone. So when you're looking to buy here for double bottoms, we're looking for support zone right here. Okay, so we have price coming to the downside here. It came back, it shot up, right? And instead of price coming down and continuing our downtrend, going further down, it actually stopped at our support zone, right? And once we see that, we have an idea that price will continue to shoot up. That's our double bottom. All that simply means is that this is a key area of support. So all this is saying is that buyers and sellers have agreed upon a price, right? Sellers came down, they let go of their positions, buyer took control, sellers became dominant again, hit this part of the bottom here, and then buyers shot to the upside here. So this is a key area of support. Now, one way you can actually trade this here is to look for the neckline here, okay? And what I mean by that, we want to find our resistance zone. So here is our resistance zone here. That's considered our neckline. And the reason why is because at this area, price shot down, came back up, retested it multiple times, shot back down to the support, okay? So how we would typically enter it, since we don't know at this particular time that we are in a double bottom, we wait for price to shoot up, and this is how I enter the trade. I will wait for price to shoot up, and then it breaks through. Remember, I don't know exactly what's gonna happen at that point. It breaks through, it comes and pull back to the downside, and this will be my entry zone at the neckline here, okay? You wanna make sure you set your stop loss away from structure, away from here, and we'll go into that in a bit, but this will be my entry zone because every time price breaks a structure and it pulls back to that structure, 9 times out of 10, it will bounce up and continue an upside. Okay. So we were in a downtrend over here on the left side of the screen, and then sellers became exhausted. It shot back up. Instead of continuing to lower lows, it stopped here at the support. It broke our neckline to the upside right here, and then it came back down to retest our neckline here. Now it's our support. So remember in part of the video earlier, we talked about our neckline here, okay? So that's also the same as our break and retest. So remember our break and retest strategy, and then we're gonna go ahead and clean this up a bit. Our break and retest strategy is simply when price goes one way, right? It comes and breaks our resistance zone in this case here. Price goes up this way here. It comes back down, retest. So it broke our resistance, came back down to retest, and it continues to the upside. This is where you would buy at. The same thing. So I use the break and retest strategy for my double tops and my double bottom. That's a way that I like to trade my double tops and double bottoms, is when price break the neckline, come back and retest that neckline, enter a buy at this area, and guess what? It continued to the upside. Now I probably would have exited around this price here. This is our minor resistance level because price retested this area multiple times before it shot back down to this neckline. So I would have taken profit. I would have bought around this area and taken profit right here at this resistance zone. And guess what? It shot up higher to the upside. And guess what? It approached our major resistance zone here. So what I mean by major resistance zone, right here. So if I grab this here and I take it all the way across where price retested multiple times, we can see multiple candles retesting that area. And I'll circle this for you so you can easily identify it. Multiple candles here, multiple candles here. If I move over to the right, multiple candles here. All of these is a strong structure of resistance. And it's not by coincidence, okay? I want you guys to understand this market like any other market, and I mentioned this before, is that the reason why price stop at certain areas is because it's beginning to become overbought. That is the idea of our support and resistance zone. Price always comes back and retests our support and resistance zones. So that's why it's really important to understand how to draw your support and resistance areas before you can even start trading. All right, so let's go ahead and look at a completely different pair, and we'll apply, let's say, the double top to this next pair and see if we can find the exact same setup where we identify a double top. We're going to identify the neckline and then use our break and retest strategy that I mentioned earlier for that particular chart pattern. All right, guys, so we have our double tops here, okay? Now, sometimes it can be a little confusing identifying this, especially if you're a new trader, but the whole point is that you want to see at least a gap, a small gap in between your double tops and your double bottoms, okay? And then typically you will have a trend when you're starting to look for these. You will find it in a trend, and that is typically a trend reversal. I want to get that out there, okay? It's kind of a trend reversal when you see something like this. You can find this on any time frame. 4 hour, daily, 8 hour, 15 minutes, it doesn't matter. And so you will see this as a trend reversal. Now the lower time frames, it may be a smaller trend reversal. On the higher time frame, it's a larger trend reversal. Okay. So let me show you what I'm talking about here. All right. So we have our downtrend. This is our lows, our highs, and then we have our higher lows, our higher highs, higher lows, higher highs. And then this here, it meets at the same area, right? So it didn't make a higher low yet. It actually dropped back down to the previous higher high. And so that's where the key is at, okay? So we have a strong push to the upside. It came back to retest, and then it shot up back to this area here, to our resistance area, okay? So that is our double top. It doesn't matter the candles that are next to it, right? You want to see this strong gap here, okay? So this here can be our neckline. Let me go ahead and grab this rectangle tool here. All right, so this here is our neckline here. So we have our higher low, our higher high, a higher low, higher high. It failed to make a higher low. It actually retested our previous higher high. It shot back up, hit our resistance zone, and then it comes back here, okay? So typically what you want to do, we want to find our break and retest, okay? So it shot down because it can do one or two things. Once it comes back and retests this area right here, it can come back up for a triple top. And there is something called a triple top or even a triple bottom, but it could do that. And if so, I can guarantee you that it will bounce off of this resistance zone. I can't say guarantee in trading, but there's a high probability that it will come back and retest that resistance zone. Okay. But if not, before you enter for that buy, because it may not come back up, you want to wait to see what will happen. In this case, it came down right here and it broke past our support zone. And it came back and retested our support zone, making it resistance. That's where you would get in a downtrend. Okay. So our uptrend has officially ended when it broke our neckline, our line here. That was our previous support, and it broke it, came back up, and now it's starting to make lower lows and lower highs. Remember the ingredients for our downtrend and our uptrend. And now look, lower lows, lower highs, so on and so forth. So now we are looking at the ingredient of our downtrend. So when you're looking at a double top, you want to see if it's going to retest the neckline. And after it retests the neckline, before you enter for a buy, you want to see if it's going to continue to break through like it did. If it does, 9 times out of 10, it will come back up and retest that neckline, now going the opposite direction. And look, it shot slightly above it, and that's completely fine. You want to have your stop loss somewhere around this area here where you know it may not come and retest, because now it's starting to form lower lows and lower highs. Okay, so I would sell here, and you can actually sell all the way down to this area here where it wicked before. Or if you're at the beginning of a trend, you can get out. And you always want to look left for clues. Look at this area here where this was a lower low. You know it's going to come and retest that area as well. So the purpose of a double top and a double bottom, or even triple tops and triple bottoms, is that there's a possible trend reversal, and you want to use the break and retest strategy. At least that's what I found profitable every single time I used that particular strategy. Now, like I said in the beginning of this segment here, you can find tons of chart patterns, but this here is one of my favorite ones that Kenya and I use all the time when we see this setting up. So guys, double tops and double bottoms are our easiest and most profitable trading patterns ever. And so we hope that you guys understand this, and they're easy to spot as well. So guys, hopefully that this made sense for you. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and also save this to your YouTube playlist, and I will see you in the next video. God bless.